14th of May. We're here to talk about Smackdown Live. Smackdown Live was the second show of two, yesterday and today, for Raw and SmackDown, that took place in the O2 Arena in London, England. It was a pre-taped show, and I thought the show was not bad, all good. Just reading something in the chat really fast. Okay. Gonna have to look something up really fast. But, so yeah, SmackDown was okay. Didn't really grab my interest like Raw did last night. I was more interested throughout the show than I was, for Raw at last night than I was for tonight's SmackDown. Kind of just like, well, the show's solid, but there's nothing I've seen so far that's got me like, oh yeah, I want to keep watching. Or, well, let me reiterate that. There was nothing really that they said, okay, we're going to do later, that I was like, ooh, I got to stay to watch this. It was like, oh, well, okay. And we knew about the Kevin Owens show thing. It didn't happen. It was finally the last thing on the show. Excuse me. It's finally the last thing on the show, and then it was like, that was it. It was kind of cookie cutter and lame. And we'll get to it, exactly what did happen during the Kevin Owens show segment at the end of the night. But let's see who's with us here on the live chat. We do got Woken King Slender, Jason Dalton, Luke Might. We've got Josh Bannon. Who else do we have here? Joshua Lowe. We've got Brandon Sariano, Nelson, T-Life. So let's just jump right in and talk about SmackDown. So SmackDown Live kicked off with Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns actually got some boos, like a good amount of boos tonight from the crowd in London. I don't know if this was the fact of a lot of maybe, here's my, well, I don't want to call it a prediction. Here's my assumption. Maybe a lot of the same people went to Raw and SmackDown, and they were like, we don't want to see Roman 2 nights in a row. Oh, Woken King Slender, yes. Earl Hebner was announced as a referee for All Elite Wrestling. All Elite Wrestling did announce that, I want to say, 13 minutes ago. They sent out a tweet. Go to AEW Wrestling on Twitter, and they did announce that Earl Hebner is the latest referee to join the staff of All Elite Wrestling. So, off topic, sorry. So, Roman came out there tonight, opened up the show, and he got booed. There was a good amount of cheers, but the boos, they were very obvious. And that's the thing. It wasn't like I kind of heard boos mixed in with the cheers. It was, no, I heard the boos. And that's not a good thing for the Roman Reigns, especially when they want him to be that big, babyface star. And at the same time, he just came back from his leukemia stuff. And you would think that he would still get some sort of a reaction, but it's kind of just going back to where it was. Not as bad, but a split. It's like a John Cena split where it's like 60-40 boos to cheers. So Roman Reigns comes out. He has discussed his problems with both Elias and Shane McMahon. He talked about last night on Monday Night Raw. And he then introduced The Miz. He introduced The Miz like The Miz has like not been on SmackDown in years. But Miz was actually on SmackDown like 4 weeks ago before the Superstar shakeup. So The Miz comes out. Miz pointed out that he has 5 days until he takes on Shane McMahon inside a steel cage. He said he'll never forget McMahon attacking his father. McMahon and wait. I got to talk about something. Who in the chat, let me know in the chat if you watched tonight's episode of Miz and Mrs. Because that episode just, I'm gonna say it fucked the whole storyline of Miz trying to get his dad to say that he's proud of him and that he loves him. So tonight's Miz and Mrs., there's 2 storylines on it. It was Miz's mother-in-law Marjo trying to get more likes and stuff on Instagram, but it was also about the Miz throwing out the first pitch at the Cleveland Indians game back in September But remember this, back in September. That was the underlining, like the opening storyline, which actually played into the overarching storyline. Anyways, so Miz and his buddies are going into the Cleveland Indians game. They're right out front. They're getting ready to walk in. They're making fun of Miz because he brought his own glove and he's wearing these weird shoes. And his dad goes, Mike, come over here before we go in. I need to tell you something. And he's looking at his dad like, okay, what's up? And he just goes, I just want to tell you that I'm proud of you and that I love you. And then it cuts to Miz doing his little, diary room thing. And he goes, I don't know if I've ever heard my dad tell me that he loved me. And it's like, so the whole storyline from January to WrestleMania was that you wanted your dad to say that he was proud of you, but he told you back in September before a Cleveland Indians game where you threw out the first pitch. I don't know what to think about this one because it kind of just screwed up that whole storyline. Like, more people watch Monday or SmackDown than probably watch Miz and Mrs. Maybe a good portion of them just keep it on and go flow into Miz and Mrs. I don't know. But that was just like your whole storyline of why he wanted to team with Shane, because Shane can teach him how to get his dad's approval and make his dad proud. And his dad had already told him September, October, November, December, January, like 4 or 5 months previous. So I don't know. It just kind of threw me off. I almost couldn't get into the rest of the episode because my whole time I'm thinking, well, if Miz's dad already told him he's proud of him back in September, then why did Miz care in that whole storyline that his dad wasn't proud of him and this and that? So I don't know. Nitpicking, just a little kind of thing, but Tito says, I tried, but neither watched Wrestling.in, wasn't streaming USA Network. Well, a lot of times when you watch like Raw or SmackDown on a streaming website like WatchWrestling.in, it 99% of the time will stream Raw or SmackDown, and then once that show ends, it doesn't continue showing the USA Network feed. It just cuts it off. So that's probably why. But anyways, back to SmackDown. So McMahon and Elias interrupted McMahon and Elias interrupted Roman and Miz. They walked out onto the ramp, and McMahon told The Miz that he's not the wild card tonight because he's banned from the show. Elias promised to prove that Money in the Bank, why Vince McMahon picked him to be the face of SmackDown Live, why Vince McMahon called him the biggest acquisition in SmackDown Live history. Bigger than Brock Lesnar as the WWE Champion and bigger than The Rock. Because those were two acquisitions for SmackDown Live back in 2001 and 2002. Maybe 2003 with Brock. I can't remember exactly which year that was. Maybe 2003. Anyways. McMahon and Elias teased walking to the ring and taking out Reigns and Miz, but instead McMahon introduced the SmackDown Live Tag Team Champions, Daniel Bryan and Rowan. The Miz, all four heels, then surrounded the ring and attacked Reigns and Miz. The heels beat down the two in the ring until the Usos' music hit. They ran down for the save. They had a double suicide dive, but Rowan took them out. My bad. The faces fought back and cleared the heels from the ring. Now, during this time, we did learn from Tom Phillips that with the wild card rule, they clarified something else here. Oh, okay, Tito. They were streaming Sky Sports. That makes more sense then. Okay, my bad. So, what Tom Phillips clarified with the wild card rule was that 4 superstars or teams can go over to either SmackDown from Raw or Raw from SmackDown. So a tag team counts as 1. So that's good to know. Excuse me. We then cut to commercial, come back and we see backstage Shane McMahon announces that Bryan and Rowan and Elias and himself will team up tonight in a 3-on-4 handicap match to take on the team of Roman Reigns and the Usos. He stated, if Miz does get involved at all in this match, the steel cage match at Money in the Bank, off. So it's like Shane's avoiding the Miz, but he can just call the match off. So why doesn't he just call the match off and say, you know what, I don't want to face you, Miz? If he's been trying to avoid the Miz for a couple weeks now, then why doesn't he just call the match off if he's got the ability to do so? I don't know. He said something like, I'm going to take my privilege and make this match tonight. Well, if it's your privilege, you do what you got to do. So we got a fatal 4-way match. It was Finn Balor, Ali, Andrade, and Roman Reigns. No, Randy Orton. Loved this match. This match was great. Before the match, Randy Orton promised to win Money in the Bank for the second time. He said that once he wins Money in the Bank, the most dangerous words to a champion, or the most dangerous letters, 3 letters to a champion, will be RKO. Zelina Vega and Andrade came out. Andrade promised to climb the ladder and become Mr. Money in the Bank this Sunday night. They go to a commercial break. Back from the break, Orton was firmly in control of this match as he worked over Ali's leg. Ali rolled up Orton for a near fall. Orton fought back and caught Ali with a power slam. Ali hit Orton with a tornado DDT, but Andrade broke up the pin attempt. Andrade took control of the match and isolated Balor in the ring. Balor climbed to the top rope, but Andrade cut him off. Andrade followed it up with a double knees for another near fall. Andrade then pulled out 2 ladders from underneath the ring as Zelina was instructing him to do so, and I loved this. The way Corey Graves played this up on commentary. He said, listen, Zelina, she, for the most part, usually tells Andrade what to do. And come Sunday at Money in the Bank, the other competitors are going to have to watch out for her because it's like he has a second pair of eyes that can watch other things going on at ringside while he's dealing with what he's got to deal with in the ring or outside the ring and so forth. I loved the way he noted that. And now the question is she going to be at ringside for the entire match, or is she going to come down with him and the referee going to eject her saying, not safe enough, no managers. So we'll see how it plays out, but I loved that Corey Graves did mention that she's like a second pair of eyes in this match where so much is going on at once that you kind of need that. So Andrade used the ladder, but Ali rocked him with a super kick. Ali attempted a plancha, but Andrade tossed the second ladder at Ali. Back from a break, Andrade whipped Balor into the ladder. Balor fought back and hit a shotgun drop kick into the ladder. Ali then missed a 450 splash on Balor, and Orton caught Ali with an RKO. Balor then hit a dive to the floor and took out both Orton and Ali. Andrade was able to move out of the way and sent Balor into the ring post. He then hit a hammerlock DDT in the ring on Balor for the victory, so Andrade is victorious. With Andrade being victorious here, it does lead one to believe it's WWE booking, so that means Andrade, fortunately, not a favorite, not going to be winning on Sunday. Andrade then set up a ladder in the middle of the ring. He climbed it. He posed at the top of the ladder. Suddenly, Ricochet's music would hit, and he ran down to the ring. He leaped onto the ladder and climbed up to the top. He knocked off Andrade and pulled down the briefcase. So, with Ricochet also kind of standing tall tonight, I don't expect him to win it either. I'll give my prediction tomorrow. Nick and I will give our predictions for the entire Money in the Bank card tomorrow night on the PW Unlimited Wednesday show. So I won't tell you exactly right now who I'm going for, but you could probably guess based off of ways I've talked in the last week or so. In the back, basically Carmella promised to win Money in the Bank. She said, technically this will be for the second time, but, I won twice before, so this could be my third time. Backstage, Xavier Woods approached Kofi Kingston. Woods promised to have Kofi's back as he appears on the Kevin Owens show tonight, and Kingston said, I need you to do me a solid. I need you to do me a favor and stay in the back. I need you to stay in the back. I know you're not 100%, and I don't want anything to happen to you tonight. So, Kofi knew that she was about to hit the fan like it did. He didn't know exactly what was going to happen, but he had an inkling. Charlotte Flair made her way down to the ring here. She said this Sunday is the culmination of her feud with Becky Lynch. Doubt it. She promised that it would end with her as SmackDown Women's Champion. And then a video package played, looking at Flair and Lynch's friendship and rivalry over the last, year-ish? 6-7 months? That was the thing this week, because they did this last night with AJ Styles and Seth Rollins. So last week, the whole thing was, we're going to do the promos where it's just a singular superstar and they're looking in the camera and they're being all, emotional and aggressive to the way they're talking and whatnot. And this week, the thing was video packages. So in the back, Lacey Evans did cut one of these good look in the camera promos. She noted that everyone's focused on Lynch versus Flair. She reminded everyone that Lynch has 2 matches on Sunday. One with Charlotte, but also one with her. And she promised to win the Women's Money in the Bank, or the Raw Women's Championship. Chris McNutt says, what's going on with Big E and the New Day breaking up? If they're not, who said they're breaking up? Nobody has stated that they're breaking up. That's just a lot of BS rumors on Twitter. Everyone says that Big E's can come back as a heel and turn on Kofi. No, nobody at all has reported or stated or factually put out there that they're breaking up. And they shouldn't break up. So, whatever people are hearing about Big E's going to turn on the New Day, it's a lot of poppycock. So then we got the 4-on-3 handicap match. The heels were in control early as they isolated Jey Uso on their side of the ring. Jey fought back but missed a splash. He tried to land on his feet and injured his leg. Elias rocked him with a clothesline to take back over the action. Jey tried another comeback and climbed to the top. Elias caused a distraction and Bryan shoved Jey off the top onto the barricade. After commercial break, Rowan hit a big splash on Jey for a near fall. Reigns then finally got a hot tag and ran wild, and I mean wild. He rocked Bryan with a big clothesline in the corner. He attempted the Superman punch, but Bryan caught him with kicks. The heels then isolated Reigns on their side of the ring. Elias rocked Reigns with a knee for a 2. Jimmy Uso then got a tag and ran wild himself. The Usos rocked Bryan with double super kick and a close near fall. Bryan fought back and hit the running knees, but Reigns broke up the pin attempt. Rowan and Reigns fought each other on the floor. McMahon then made the blind tag and hit the coast-to-coast on Jey Uso for the victory. And this was a coast-to-coast where he actually hit it good. He actually got all the way across. Because we've seen before, it may have even been against an Uso. I think it was. It may have been at the Elimination Chamber, maybe, where Shane went for the coast-to-coast, and the Uso, you can see him sit up out of the corner to prop himself forward because he could tell that Shane wasn't going to make it. But this one, Shane made it, and Shane actually got the pin and won 4-on-3 handicap match. It was okay for what it was. After the match, though, The Miz ran down and had a steel chair in hand. Corey Graves pointed out that The Miz is going to get his match canceled because he's been banned from the arena. Tom Phillips noted that the match is over, so it's okay for The Miz to come out. And no, that is not what Shane said. Corey Graves is actually right. Shane said that Miz is banned from the arena tonight, from anything. He did not just say, you're banned from ringside from this match. He said, you're banned from the arena. But it's WWE. We're going to get the cage match. Meh, whatever. They then did the Firefly Funhouse video from last night. It was funny when Corey Graves pitched it earlier in the show and made it seem like we didn't get a Firefly Funhouse last night, or that this would be a different video, because he said Bray Wyatt brings us a new episode of Firefly Funhouse that everyone's going to want to see. And I'm like, you dummy, saw it last night. It's not new. Everybody that watched Raw last night, all 2 million people, it's not new to them either. Anyways, it's the same one where you had the mask, the new mask, and the dreads down. And Ramon and Bailey then both cut cell phone promo videos just stating that they both wanted to and thought that they would win Money in the Bank. So then we got Asuka and Kairi Sane against Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. And before the match started, Paige announced them with their new tag team name, the Kabuki Warriors. Kind of makes sense because Asuka does wear a Kabuki-esque mask. So we'll see. Hopefully they don't wear Kabuki face paint during their matches and they just do what they do now. So the name's not horrible. I'll say that. So the babyfaces had an early advantage here. They sent Deville to the floor. As Rose checked on her, Kairi Sane rocked Rose with a forearm. Deville tried to re-enter into the ring, but Asuka nailed her with a hip attack. After commercial break, Kairi Sane caught Rose with a crossbody for a near fall. Sane missed a charge into the corner, and Rose hit a knee for a 2. The heels then took over and isolated Sane in their corner. Asuka got the hot tag and ran wild. She hit a German suplex and a hip attack in the corner. She attempted the Asuka lock, but Sonya Deville made the save. Asuka rocked Deville with a series of kicks here. DeVille made a comeback and hit a big spine buster. Looked very nice, actually. She then went to make the pin, but Rose demanded to be tagged in. Rose then made the cover, but Asuka reversed and pinned Mandy instead. Backstage, Kayla Braxton waited nervously to interview Lars Sullivan. Braxton tried to interview Sullivan, but he just glared at her. She was scared, so she walked away. Didn't answer her question. So then we get Kevin Owens backstage, and he's supposed to be hosting the Kevin Owens show. And at first I'm like, why is this fucker in the back? Go to the ring, you damn host. And it made sense as this progressed why he was in the back. So he's in the back cutting a promo on he's going to win this weekend. He's won many titles. It took Kofi 11 years to be a world champion, and he didn't wait for his time. He made his time on the main roster when he came out in 2015 and demanded to take out the Babe Ruth of the WWE, John Cena. He then showed that he's been NXT champion, Intercontinental champion, United States champion, Universal champion. And so it cuts back to Kevin Owens, and he's talking, and finally the New Day's music hits, and Kofi comes down to the ring. Kofi says he's tired of hearing Owens talk, and he said, if you're the host, then come down here and host it. Owens then walked down, but teased getting in the ring. Kofi says, screw this, and he ran into the aisle and attacked Owens. As the two were fighting, you then see Sami Zayn attack Kofi Kingston, and Tom Phillips yells, it's the final wild card! So there has to be 4? Like, there can't be 3? There can't be 2? It's got to be 4? Because the way he just yells, wait, because they're like, who is that? And then, like, Sami Zayn looks up and at the camera, kind of, and you hear Corey goes, that's Sami Zayn. And Tom Phillips just yells, it's the final wild card! I'm like, what? Does it matter? And then they're like, oh, that's Kevin Owens' best friend, and da-da-da, this makes so much sense. So they beat down Kofi, they teased giving him the apron powerbomb, and Xavier Woods ran out for the save. He tried to take out both heels, but they took him out instead. Owens yelled at Kingston and noted that this is his time. He promised to beat Kingston for the title on Sunday. He stated that he could beat Kofi down even more right now, but he wants to leave just enough of Kofi so Kofi can make it to Money in the Bank. Zayn then attacked Kofi, but Kofi reversed and fought back. Kofi Kingston then hit the Trouble in Paradise on Sami Zayn, stood tall, went over, checked on Xavier Woods, and that is how SmackDown Live ended. Yes, that was SmackDown. Like I said, it was a solid, okay show, but there was really nothing that made me, I gotta keep watching to see this. Like stuff that we knew from, like I said earlier in the show, like Kevin Owens' show with Kofi Kingston. I'm like, it could be good, but it's not something where I'm like, I gotta stay and watch. So now I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you guys have to say about tonight's SmackDown Live. You can either call into the show at 559-475-8473, or you can text into the show at 510-906-1341. Again, you can call at 559-475-8473, or you can text in at 510-906-1341. So we do have a text message here. This person here does state, who do you think should get a push on the women's division? It's hard to say that until we do see what happens on Sunday at Money in the Bank. We don't know if Becky's going to lose one of the titles. We don't know if Becky's going to retain her title. And we don't know if they're going to do like last year and have the women's Money in the Bank ladder match winner cash in. But let's take this call. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, Tim, what's going on?
Not much. What's up?
Oh, man, just trying to fight a cold. But, hey, I just want to get your opinion on the Fatal 4 match. I thought that was a really, really good match. That RKO hit on Mustafa Ali.
Oh, great.
Was one of the better RKOs I've seen. It's just, I don't know if it was Mustafa Ali selling or what it was, but, man, I just love that RKO. Like, I had to maybe, take it back and, watch it again for the second or third time. I'm like, holy crap.
It could have been the way he sold it. I know the one when Andrade leaped off the top rope last week and took the RKO. That was nice, too.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And my second question is, my question, do you think, now this is my opinion, but I want to get your opinion on it, do you think that having Sami Zayn come in and Kofi standing tall looked kind of dumb. That's all. It was a 2-on-1 attack. Wouldn't you think that, like, Kevin and Sammy should have been standing tall? Now, if Kevin Owens is going to win this Sunday, I get the whole Kofi standing tall, 50-50 booking, but, like, I feel like bringing in Sammy was a little dumb since, nothing really happened.
Well, here's the way you got to look at it. The heels thought they took down the champion. They thought they had him down where he couldn't fight back, and so they kind of, or at least Sammy, took his eye off the ball. And so he overestimated how beat down Kofi Kingston really was, and that's when Kofi was able to get a little comeback on him. So I don't think it was that bad. Now, I don't know what's going to happen this weekend, because honestly, this is the one match that I can honestly say that it can go either way. You can say that, hey, Kofi's doing well as a champion, as the world champion, keep the title on him, but at the same time, you can also say, well, Vince is done with this experiment, time to move on. So I don't know where this is going, but I don't think it was bad that Kofi stood tall, because honestly, Owens still did beat him down, and he didn't get that last lick of offense on Owens. He did get it on Sammy.
Yeah, that is true. And what match would you say that you're most looking forward to for Sunday?
Ooh, probably the men's ladder match. Because, I mean, if you look at everybody in there, minus Baron Corbin, it should be really good.
Yeah. I think, for me personally, I think I'm interested to see how the Kevin Owens, Kofi Kingston match will play out. And I'm also interested to see, how they're going to do Becky Lynch, and the Becky 2-belt thing. And,
One thing that's really got me interested, I want to see how the Usos against Bryan and Rowan do on the pre-show, and with them being not a full crowd in the building probably at the time, how they react to that, because there's probably not going to be much reaction to them since everyone's still filing in. So I want to see how they work on the pre-show. Again, when's the last time we saw Daniel Bryan on a pre-show?
Oh yeah, for sure. And that match, you could main event any pay-per-view. Is such a really good match. Now, I understand, time fills. You only get 4 hours, and there's a lot of matches. So I understand why they put it on the pre-show.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't understand why. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like...
With it being on the pre-show, though, if they do, less talking, maybe they can give this match some time. Maybe they can give the match 15 minutes if they wanted.
Or maybe even longer, because the pre-show is an hour and a half long.
Right.
But,
I mean, you gotta be able to, talk about every single match. And honestly, I don't know if they're gonna add a second match to the pre-show either. If they do, then this is all screwed. But we'll see how it goes.
All right. Well, thanks for taking my call.
Not a problem. Thanks for the call, and have a great night. All right, let's just roll through and take another call. Got this one coming in right here. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, Sam, how you doing? This is JD.
Not bad. How are you?
Good. Hey, man, the Firefly Funhouse, like we talked about it about a couple of weeks ago, and it keeps getting better and better. With this new character that Bray Wyatt has introduced, is that going to cause a little controversy amongst the, the children's? I'll get it. The children's kind of promoters.
Actually, you have a thing there, because my son's always liked Bray Wyatt. My son turns 8 next month. He's always thought Bray Wyatt was interesting. But when he did not watch Raw with me last night, but when he saw the Bray Wyatt video on Smackdown tonight, he saw one look at it, and he was just like, I can't look anymore. It freaked him out a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know about you. I'm not my name is Jason. I'm a horror guy. I love horror movies.
Right.
When I saw that, I was like, oh shit. Hey, we need you over on 5. When I saw that, I was like, oh my Lord. I don't know if you ever seen the movie. It's called Terrifier.
No.
Okay, I don't know if you're a horror fan or anything along that lines, or, you can do gore. But this movie, the Bray Wyatt character, he looks somewhat similar to that clown.
Huh.
And that clown And that movie makes Pennywise look like Krusty the Clown.
Wow.
This guy is horrible. This is an awesome movie because, I'm a horror fan. If you're kind of interested, you should check that movie out. But, yeah, when I saw that, I was like, oh, my Lord, what's going to happen to the children's, rating? How that's going to go down?
Well, I mean, the children's rating isn't really that big for the show anyways. It's usually like the 15 to 25 audience and then the 25 to 35 audience and whatnot. But like I said, like my son's always been like, Bray Wyatt's kind of cool. That's one of the wrestlers that he always is like, as soon as he hears the Bray Wyatt music, he knows. And he could see Bray Wyatt on screen for like half a second and go, oh, that's Bray Wyatt. But when they did the transformation tonight, he took one look and his head was turned around. And he would not look until he thought it was gone. So we'll see.
You know what I mean by it. You're the perfect example. You kind of just told my case, my story, my whole thing.
Right.
When that comes on, every parent's going to have to get their children out of the room because they are going to have nightmares. And they're not going to want to have to deal with all that stuff.
But here's the one thing: is he going to wrestle in that mask, or is he going to come down to the ring and then take it off for the match? That's the question.
Whoa! If he wrestles in that, oh my Lord, there's no way in hell that they would be able to get away with that.
I mean,
there's no way.
I mean,
that would be sick.
It would, and if they just don't, I guess you could say, if they don't zoom in on him during his matches and they just keep it like hard camera or from the outside of the ring kind of cameras, then maybe it'd be okay. But it was a little extra creepy than I expected.
I thought it was cool, but then, like I said, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh shit. Kids, you might want to look away on this one.
Yeah, and so it is interesting.
But yeah, it was. Hey, I got a question for you. How did you and Tim meet? I mean, you and Nick meet.
So, quick version was back in 2017. Nick was doing his own podcast. Nick messaged me on, I think it might have been Instagram, and was like, "Hey, do you want to come on my podcast? I'll like do a little interview of you and then talk wrestling with you." And so I went on his podcast. We hit things off like instantly. I then asked if he wanted to do anything on this YouTube channel. He started doing videos once a week where he would like give like a hot take. We then did a live version of that, and it turned into the Wednesday show.
Yeah, okay. I was kind of curious. I was going to ask you a couple phone calls before go. And I think that's pretty cool the way you guys are doing it. And I was just kind of curious how you guys were able to meet up and you guys were able to do it. But I'm assuming you guys obviously both don't live in the same city.
No, he lives 3 hours-ish north of where I live.
Ah, right on. Right on. Well, hey, man. All right. Okay, why have Zelina Vega as your manager and she's supposed to do all the talking? Why is Homeboy talking? Why he's not a great talker.
From what I've heard, Fox wants a quote-unquote Latino star, and so they want to get him talking, so then when they do stuff on like Fox Deportes, then they can have him on that show as well. Like, because they already do a recap show on Fox Deportes for WWE, but they'll probably ramp that up once they do get the actual Smackdown property. So maybe they want him to start talking more so the fans learn his voice, I guess. I don't know. I just know that Fox does want a Latino star on SmackDown, and so if he talks himself, it maybe makes him look a little more legitimate as a star. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, because, he's a great wrestler, don't get me wrong. He just doesn't need to be talking. That's why he's got Zelina, and she's hot as hell,
exactly,
by the way.
And it's nothing against him. It's just that he's had limited time here in the United States to speak English because, all of his career before WWE was spent in Mexico, where he, was from.
Right.
So it's nothing against
him.
On.
No, it's not. I just like, well, why have her when he's going to try to do the talking? But, like I said, she's hot as hell.
Right, and he only does like a line or two, so it's not that bad.
Right. Well, hey, man, I wanted to throw one last little thing at you, and then I got to get my butt back to work. I'm extremely excited for Double or Nothing. I have to say it, and I said it before, I am a huge WWE fan, but I am extremely excited to see what's going to happen. And apparently tomorrow they're supposed to do the announcement of their TV deal and what's going on about all that. Can you kind of do a little more into that? And I want to say you're doing a great job, and JD out, Tim.
All right, have a great night, and thanks for the call. So what we do know, as far as the AEW television deal does go, it is supposed to be announced roughly 9 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow, roughly 1 hour before the Warner Media Upfront event. They're going to announce that they're going to announce that All Elite Wrestling will start in the fall on either TNT or TBS. Right now, TNT does look like the more likely of the two. With them going to TNT, they won't be able to be on Thursday. They won't be able to be on Tuesday because TNT has a more elevated deal that goes into play next season for the NBA where they get more games. They're not going to want to go against WWE, so they're not going to be on Mondays. They're not going to be on Fridays. I do believe that the AEW show, this hasn't been confirmed, but I think it's going to end up airing on TNT on Wednesday nights. I don't know if it's going to be live. I don't know if it's going to be pre-taped. With them going to Turner Broadcasting, Turner's streaming service for sports is Bleacher Report Live. So I do believe that also we could get the announcement tomorrow that Double or Nothing in the United States will be available on Bleacher Report Live. I know it's going to be available on pay-per-view because Dish Network, DirecTV, Comcast, and Verizon have already advertised it at, I want to say, $49.99. So we'll see what happens tomorrow morning. 9 a.m. Eastern is when it's supposed to be announced by Warner Media and Turner Broadcasting. We will have all the coverage for you as soon as the news does break on that. And that's really all we know. If more news does come available throughout the night or when they announce it in the morning, we'll see. Eric Tate says, do you think AEW will make a video game? Way too soon for a company that hasn't even ran one show to make a video game. Way too soon. Yeah, it might sell okay, but you don't know how they're going to do. You don't know what their business is going to be like. Yeah, they sold out one show. Did they sell out Fyter Fest? No. Have they sold out Fight for the Fallen? No. What are their numbers going to be when they get a television show every week? Who knows? Video game? I mean, it took TNA almost 10 years before they got a video game. When did the TNA video game come out? The first TNA Impact video game. Video game was in 2008. They started in 2001. So it took them 7 years before they got a video game. They started in 2002. So it took them 6 years-ish before they got a video game. And that game did not do well. I'll tell you that. So for anyone to think, oh, well, maybe AEW could also come out with a video game, highly, highly doubt it. Daniel Price says, make it 6:05 Saturday nights on TBS. I think they want to do the TNT one because they can advertise it with the NBA stuff and the NBA stuff with it. And if it's all on the same network, it just works better that way, more cohesive. Wade Montgomery, wrong. It's not that they're not doing WWE 2K20. It's that Ukes, who helps develop the game, wants to also create a second wrestling video game. That's what's going on. It's not that they want to not create the WWE games, because they love creating the WWE games, but they want another challenge, and they want another wrestling game. So that's what they're looking at doing. Marcus Ryan says, do you have any plans on doing another trivia soon? Not sure. Very busy over the next couple of weeks, especially not, this weekend we've got the WWE pay-per-view on Sunday and whatnot. Then the following weekend, Nick and I will be in Vegas for 4 days for StarCast and Double or Nothing. So I'll have to see. I don't know when the next one's going to be. It will be fun to do another one for sure, but I'll let you guys know once we have a solid plan on that. So let's check out some of these text messages that we've got here. This person says, who do you see winning Money in the Bank? And could you see a cash in at Super Showdown? Now, I'm not going to give my predictions for Money in the Bank yet, but as far as a cash in at Super Showdown, That's actually not a bad idea. Give that Prince what he wants, and he wants action. He wants unpredictability. He wants something cool. There you go. This next text message says, with Bray Wyatt doing these Firefly Funhouse episodes for the past few weeks, how do you think his entrance and music will look and moveset in the ring? I don't think his moveset's going to be much different. I don't think that at all. As far as his music and entrance, I hope he doesn't have the Firefly Funhouse song when he enters the ring. Maybe he could just have the normal Bray Wyatt music. I've always liked the Bray Wyatt music. So, I don't think he should change too much of his in-ring. Going forward, just seeing some of the other text messages. This person, I don't know what you're talking about. 229. You just say, what do you think about the gimmick? What gimmick? This person says, I see supposedly that Vince wanted Andrade to learn English, and now Almas is learning English. I mean, Vince wants all of his guys to be able to speak English, and the better you can speak it, the more you're going to get used. So it's in his best, it behoove him to learn as much as he can. Let's take one final call before we do wrap things up here tonight. Caller, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, how's it going?
Not much, or not bad. How about you?
Yeah, doing pretty good. I just I had a few questions here. Now, the Kabuki Warriors, like, what do you think of that name? Like, how are you feeling about that name?
You know, at first I was like, what the heck is this name? This is just dumb. But when you really think about it, I mean, Asuka technically kind of wears a Kabuki mask anyways. So maybe they just give Kairi Sane a mask to wear for her entrance as well, and there you go.
Oh, wow. I mean, originally, I just, I thought they just did it because, of them, being Japanese and stuff.
Right.
But, I guess if it's, and that's a lot of mixed reactions. Some people, they're okay with it. Some people, they're like, it's not such a good name.
Yeah, personal opinion.
Yeah. Now, the whole wild card war. I know we talked about it, but I wanted to just elaborate a little bit more on it. Now, are they gonna is this gonna go on every week, or are they gonna So what's the whole purpose of the brand split? They might as well just go back to, not having separate brands. You know what I mean?
So the main purpose, apparently, from what I heard for the brand split, is to make the house show booking easier. That way they know every week who's on this set of house shows, who's on this set of house shows. You got the Raw set, you got the Smackdown set. You know who's on each brand, and you don't have to really fudge with much. That's what I've heard is one of the reasons why Vince wants to keep the brand split. But at the same time, you want that brand split intact. Because if you don't have that brand split, who knows if AJ Styles would have been a 2-time WWE champion? Who knows if AJ would have ever won the championship? Because you're going to have so many
Kofi
top
too.
guys. Exactly. You're going to have so many top guys that we already know who the top guys that they want to push. Roman, Seth, Brock. Yeah, they've pushed AJ to the moon, but would that have happened if there was only one brand?
I'm still waiting for them to push McIntyre.
So the brand split is actually good for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah. I see what you're getting. But I'm still waiting for them to push Drew McIntyre. Like I'm starting to feel like it's starting to be like long overdue.
Hopefully he wins Money in the Bank.
I'm hearing he's from the betting odds, I'm hearing he's a favorite.
I can tell you right now who the favorite is because I have it written down right here in front of me. The favorite for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match is, well, it was Braun Strowman, and now it is Drew McIntyre since Braun Strowman is out of the match.
Oh, wow. And you have for the women?
For the women, let me see. It is... I just flipped the page back. For the women, it is... This was as of yesterday. I haven't checked today. But as of yesterday, Bayley was favored for the women.
Oh, okay. I was hearing Mandy Rose, but I could,
Well, I mean,
That's-
when you really
that's
look
it.
at it, Mandy Rose and Bailey are almost a deadlock because Bailey is a plus 250. Mandy Rose is a plus 275. Again, I haven't checked today to see if anything has changed. This is as of yesterday morning.
Right. Now, one last quick question. How are you feeling about Double or Nothing?
That's a tough question because I think there's a lot of great matches, but there's too many similar matches. Like, we're going to get a lot of high spots. There's a lot of guys on this show that's going to do a lot of high spots. And you know that main event of the Bucks versus the Lucha Bros, it's going to be high spots all over that. And then they added the Best Friends versus Angelico and Jack Evans. That's a high spot 20-minute match or whatever right there. That's just a high spot after high spot. So that's the only thing I'm worried about is too many similar wrestlers on the show as far as you may get tired out of seeing so many high spot kind of deals. Now, I know there's a lot of guys on there also that don't do all the high spots.
I can't see that. I see what you're saying. I can't see that with with Jericho and Omega.
Well, I mean, Omega, he'll do a couple. He'll probably do the Terminator dive over the top rope. Maybe he'll do a dive off or over the top rope. Maybe he'll dive off the top rope to Jericho. Jericho will probably do a lion salt. So, I mean, they probably won't do as much. But there are a lot of guys on this card that like to fly. They like to do the high spot moves. I mean, you've got Christopher Daniels taking on SCU taking on the guys from OWE. Those OWE guys, they're all high spot. Daniels does his moonsault. Kazarian can jump off the top rope. I don't know if Scorpio Sky does a lot of high flying moves, but that's another match that's going to see a lot of high flying stuff, especially from those OWE guys.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that's the only thing I'm worried about is the oversaturation of the high spots. Other than that, I think it's going to be a really well show, but you can't really say if it's going to be great because we don't even know how their production's going to be.
Right. I'm just waiting to see how the first show goes, and I'm waiting to see how the TV deal is going to turn out.
Right, and we should know that TV deal in the next 12 hours.
Oh wow.
If everything we're hearing is correct, the TV deal will be announced in roughly 12 hours. Tomorrow morning, actually less than 12 hours because it's almost 9 p.m. Pacific time where I'm at, but it's supposed to be announced 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Right. Okay. Oh wow. Well, we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you. Have a good night.
All right. Have a great night. Thanks for the call. So with that, I'm going to wrap up tonight's Smackdown Live review. I want to say thank you to everybody who did watch us live right here on YouTube.com, or everybody who watched or listened later, either right here on YouTube or listened on iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher Radio, or even iHeartRadio. We will be live again tomorrow night, me and Nick, for the PW Unlimited Wednesday show. We will be giving our Money in the Bank predictions, plus we'll talk the whole Lars Sullivan situation and so much more. Roughly same time we went live tonight, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. Have a great night, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.